Hello, welcome back. We are doing season 2, episode 6 of Lost in My 40s. We look at Lost, season 2, episode 6. It's called Abandoned. It's a Shannon episode. It's a Christy episode. I have an orgasm at the end. You guys ready for a joke?
Sure.
Always.
I'm kind of excited about this one. Okay, ready?
Okay.
Actually, how's everybody doing?
That's the funny. Oh my God. No. It's just the last recording 5 minutes ago. Just fine.
Cool. Here's your joke. What does a nosy pepper do?
What?
It
gets all up in your business?
Oh my God.
Christy, you're brilliant. Oh my God. Boys, are you okay?
That one was fun. I actually liked that one.
Yeah.
I told you I was excited about it. All right. Last week, in addition to winning the battle of the backenders, Ben
Total anal victory.
Yes.
Ben uses the expression "cool is the flip side of the pillow," and Christy really loves it.
I think I said "cool" is the other side of the pillow.
Either way, I really
other side. Okay,
that.
well, she really loved it, and I thought that it sounded familiar, and I was trying to figure out.
There's a bad song.
No, well, maybe, but I was trying to figure out where maybe it came from. So I Googled the phrase, and I found something really interesting because, according to the Google, the person who popularized this phrase is Ben, your former coworker, because at one time, both Ben and Stuart Scott worked for ESPN. And apparently, while commentating sports, Stuart Scott used the phrase, his was flip side. And as I was looking that up, I had a light bulb go off, and I suddenly remembered where I think Ben might have heard that phrase, because as anyone who listens to the podcast knows, I make him watch Family Guy over and over and over again. And it suddenly clicked. There is a scene in Family Guy where Peter says he's going to flip his pillow to the cool side. And when he does, there's the face of Billy D. Williams on the other side of the pillow. So I wonder if that's where you heard it.
I'm gonna have to trace that back further, because I feel like I've heard that. That's something I grew up hearing.
Oh wow, okay. So then that was
and there's a song. I think it's by Uncle Kracker.
Oh,
and I think it's kind of a love song, and he's like, "You're cooler than the flip side of my pillow," or something.
Yeah,
to that effect.
Okay. Well, there you go. So more references.
It doesn't surprise me that Stuart Scott said it, but I'm fairly certain that's been something that has been kind of in my vocabulary for ever since I was like much younger.
Well, we were all born in the 70s. It sounds like something you would hear at the tail end of that decade.
Yeah.
All right. Coming up this week, Abandoned. We slide into the back end of the Love Shack. Saeed's
oh my God.
gun goes off. The love for Mr. Echo continues, and our humor goes way into the fucking gutter this week. This episode has me cracking up. We are dirty and terrible, and I love every second of it. So this week, Shannon is upset because Saeed won't believe her that she saw Walt on the island. So what I'm wondering is, if you had a friend that came to you and was telling you that they were seeing things, how would you react to that? How would you react to that, Christy?
Had we recently tripped?
Okay, Ben, your turn. You're going to first ask if they're on drugs?
Yeah.
Which would have been reasonable on the island too. I mean, Locke has
Locke's weaponized his powder. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If I ascertained they were not on drugs and they persisted, I would ask for, like, if they had any evidence. You have a picture, do you have something?
Mm-hmm.
I'm recording anything that provides physical evidence of what you're seeing. And then if they did not, then I wouldn't tell them I don't believe them, but I would not tell them that I do believe them. And this is a kind of I don't know, tightrope I've walked with family members in the past.
Yeah, I mean, because I guess I sort of asked specifically like a hallucination, like what was happening in the episode, as far as we know. But yeah, I mean, I guess it wouldn't just have to be that. Like you're also talking about if people come to you with conspiracy or just like something that sort of sounds insane. That's more what you mean. Yeah. Well, Christy has
bleach
experience
injections.
with that, don't you? How do you handle that?
I don't. I've walked away from it.
Okay. Yeah. So okay. And that's specifically conspiracy. I know we've talked about your dad a lot. So there's
he's crazy.
Yeah, I mean he told you the earth is flat, right?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah. Have I not told you that?
No, you have not. Wow.
Well,
He is
and
crazy.
I thought we
Sorry.
talked about it, but maybe not.
I literally have friends who are rocket scientists who work for NASA, Virginia Tech, MIT. I really don't think that they show up to class at Virginia Tech or MIT and they go, all right, we're fucking with you, but now you're in on it.
The earth is flat.
I mean,
yeah.
So every other object in space is round or some sort of non-flat, but the earth is flat.
Yeah, of course.
Wow.
So
if you read the book of Genesis, it explains it all, apparently.
Oh.
Also, they say that the math works out. And I'm like, well, you have a high school education.
Well, how come nobody's ever videoed falling off the edge of the planet, though?
Well, because
they are, Derek. It's
reasons.
Hidden.
Yeah,
Oh.
no, there's reasons. I can't dive far enough down the rabbit hole to find the reasons, but I know that they can rationalize all of it.
Right. So
I'm not.
Yeah, for me, yeah, I mean, if we're delving into the realm of conspiracy, I would have to do the same thing and just not deal with it. I think if I had somebody if I had a friend who was telling me they were like having hallucinations and I ruled everything else out, I think if not me, then I would contact the person closest to them and be like, we need to get them help.
They need to go see an expert. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why it's hard to, blame Saeed in the episode, because it does sound like you need help. Would you
I think that I would be like, I believe that you saw this.
I believe that you're experiencing it. I'm just not sure it's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think that you can really hold that against me. I'm open to it if you can show me what you're seeing.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd love to fucking see it.
If you're explaining things if you're explaining the earth from a fourth dimensional perspective, then sure, it's flat.
Yeah.
like time is a flat circle.
I'd do the same.
No, but in 3 dimensions, a sphere in 2 dimensions becomes a flat circle. So yes.
Oh, I see.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I don't understand.
It's all a matter of perspective. Maybe these people are thinking in 4 dimensions. No, they're not.
I don't.
No, they're thinking like 0 dimensions.
Yeah,
idiots. But the fact that people believe is just, I don't know. I guess there's also people believe you inject yourself with bleach, you can get rid of a virus. So
people.
People that have to tell themselves these types of stories that violate every natural law, like just so they can get through the day. It's really, I don't know if I feel bad for them. I do feel bad for them. I feel bad. I feel bad for anybody that is happy to be that fucking stupid.
I don't, because I got plenty of information to the contrary, and if they choose to be stupid, fuck them.
But
I hate that they're spreading it. Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was a fun question.
Oh, that was fun.
Fuck stupid people.
Yep.
I have a disclaimer for this question. The question is, what is the weirdest food you've ever eaten? And the disclaimer is that I understand that if a food is weird to one of us, it is not necessarily weird everywhere. Everyone's culture is different, and we're not going to
don't yuck my yum.
Yes. Get the
t-shirts available.
We're not
spacebarmedia.com.
Yeah, we're not criticizing anyone's diet. But let's talk about our personal tastes. Derek, what do you feel like the sort of weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
I don't know, because I eat a lot of what people would call weird food. I ate sushi since I was a kid. And, back in the 80s, sushi was weird.
That's true.
It wasn't mainstream.
Ben and I live in the Pacific Northwest, where sushi is life.
Sea urchin, uni, which most Americans don't.
Mm-hmm. The texture thing.
Oh, I love the texture. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, like I'd go to authentic Chinese restaurants. You eat like, rooster comb, the red
Huh?
part, or
Oh,
eat chicken gizzards and
I
livers.
believe it's also called a coxcomb.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. And or like I've eaten jellyfish.
Really? How
Stuff
do you
like
eat
that.
a jellyfish?
It's just that the tentacles, I guess they find some way to get the poison out and they just cook it. It's good. It's gelatinous jellyfish.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. It's actually pretty
Mm.
good. Marinated
Interesting.
pork ear,
Where did you have jellyfish?
authentic Chinese restaurant in a little.
Oh,
Yeah. In Dallas, we have a lot of Asians. So they have like Richardson is a suburb, and that's a lot of Asians. And that's where it was like, the menu was in Chinese. That's how authentic it was.
yeah.
So.
There's not a huge Chinese population here in the Pacific Northwest, but we do have a lot of like Thai food here. That is, I've never been to Thailand, but I've never had better Thai food than around here.
I love
nice.
food that's not, American, because the spices. I love all the spices.
Oh, you like flavor.
I do, yes. And heat. So.
A town just down the road from me is considered one of the largest Korean populations in the United States.
Oh, really?
So we have incredible Korean restaurants, Korean grocery stores. Just, you can get great Korean food in my area.
Nice. Cool. What's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
I mean, that's so subjective. I'm
exactly why I put the disclaimer.
I'm very, very open to eating just about anything. So I was thinking about this and I'm like, well, I've had escargot, I've had uni, I've had, all kinds of things. 2 weeks ago, I was at a place called Willie's Wine Bar in Santa Rosa, California. And I ordered the bone marrow. And my boss was very like, good. What? And so I let him try some, but I'm like, oh no, this is fucking delicious. I make it at home sometimes. And then a little bit later in the meal, one of my coworkers realized that they also had foie gras on the menu.
Ooh.
Which
had that in Versailles.
It's a controversial thing.
Yeah.
And
I've had it once in my life.
It can be harvested humanely.
Oh, from the duck. Yeah.
It's a goose.
Goose. I'm sorry.
It's controversial because the whole thing with foie gras is that it's fatty liver, right? And so there are methods that are very abusive where they just kind of pour food down the gullets of these animals. People now, like in bigger, like more fine dining type restaurants, will tell you that they have like humane foie gras, but who knows if that's the truth. So did you like it? It's pretty rich.
Oh, I've had foie gras before a couple of times. At least one other time. And then a really fun dessert that I had once upon a time was a root beer float that was garnished with cinnamon sugar pork rinds.
Different.
That sounds like good flavoring together.
Yeah.
Ben, how about you?
Grasshoppers, probably.
That's mine too.
Yeah.
The tacos.
So this
the Oaxacan.
Where do you get this? Because I'd like to try insects.
It was DC.
Yeah. So Ben and I went to DC like for a week or so. He had never been there, and of course, I grew up half of my life around there.
I think I'd been there before. I think
this was your second trip.
Second trip. Yeah.
Oh, we had been a day trip when we'd been there before, but this time we were just staying a week in DC and doing the museums and stuff. But anyways, so Christy, of course, lives in Baltimore, so she came down and we went to a Jose Andres restaurant. I can't remember the name.
Love him.
Yes, he's awesome.
Pretty great guy. And so he had grasshopper tacos, and Ben and I had completely different reactions to them. He fucking loved them and ate like basically the whole plate.
Yeah.
My brain shorted out when I ate them, and I took a bite. I was chewing it. The flavor was amazing. Like it was so good. And then something kind of crunched in a way that my brain went, "You're eating a bug!" And I was like, "Oh!" And then I couldn't do it.
It's hard to fully soften exoskeleton,
Yeah,
so
and
there are little crunchies that are in there.
Well, and I had the same
some crispiness.
I had the same reaction. They were good, but I couldn't get past it. And that was the same with when I had escargot. It was delicious. It was like it was like a piece of portobello mushroom that had been soaked in butter and garlic.
Butter, yes.
I mean, it tasted so good, but I couldn't get past the fact that it was a slug.
Yeah.
I feel like you could make that for I'll just say that you could make that for white people if you just took those and you blended them down and turn it like into a paste, and then you use the paste on the tacos.
I mean, maybe.
Oh, the crickets.
The
grasshoppers.
Okay,
so they were
I
actually
was
whole
thinking that you were
grasshoppers?
talking about pureeing
Snails,
snails.
No,
I did
no,
too.
no.
Yeah.
Me
So
too.
That's why I made that face.
Sorry.
I feel like I maybe need to get used to eating bugs because it could be the only food we have left in the next 30 years.
You probably
Yeah,
eat them
yeah.
already.
Yeah.
Well, sure.
Don't
I mean,
know
you
it.
swallow the occasional bug, but I've watched a lot of Anthony Bourdain in my day and seen
Eat
a
some
lot of really
grubs.
cool,
I love what
street food and kind of bugs on sticks.
Rats
And I've always wanted to try it. I think I could do it again. I think I could try to get past that. I was disappointed when that happened and I just couldn't eat it because it tasted really good. But yeah, my brain just like fucking defected. It was like, nope.
But you can generally find that if you go to any place that does Oaxacan food, you'll usually find bugs.
Oh, really? Okay.
Mhm.
Good source of protein. They're plentiful.
Yes, of course. Yeah, that's why I knew I was going to tell this story. I wanted to put the disclaimer. Like, I'm not saying anything bad about eating bugs. It was just the way in the culture I grew up in.
You grow up
that
eating
was
what's
not a
around
thing.
you.
Yeah.
So people in the tropical rainforest eat bugs.
Yep.
There's plenty of them.
All right, guys. Next week, we're going to live eat some bugs. I'm just kidding. Next week is our last pre-recorded pre-show. Ben and I will actually be back from Europe, but we're going to need a little chill out time before we get back to all of this. So this week, tomorrow, season 2, episode 6 of Lost. It is called Abandon. It is a Shannon episode and a Christy episode. And next week, Tuesday, June 21st, we'll see you back for our next pre-show. Bye.
Bye-bye.
I know.